Hi girls, how are you? My name is Natalia and today we're going to make this beautiful little mouse. Before we start, I'd like you to listen carefully because I have something to tell you. What we're going to use is just the body, only the body and the head. You'll make the head yourself from the video we did of the little mouse. Also, so you don't have to look for it in the comments, I leave the video for the head so you can go straight to it, okay? So the head is made the same way as the mouse's. We're only going to make the body, okay? We're also going to make the eyelashes in today's video, and we'll make the little bow. But I wanted to be clear that for the head, you need to go to the other video, which I'll leave for you in the comments, to sew the head. You also need to go to the head video to sew the arms, just to make it clear so there's no confusion, because I'm not going to repeat it since it doesn't make sense as it's done the same way. That way we won't take too long either. Well, let me tell you a bit. This little mouse measures 21 centimeters for the legs. I also used a pipe cleaner or a wire if you don't have one. But well, it's up to you. I was also saying that it's not really necessary. I just use it to bend it a little bit there. But it's up to you whether you want to add it or not. Then I used a 2.5 millimeter needle, which was the same one I used for the mouse. These are the colors: white, blue, gray, pink, and for the eyelashes, black. But that's up to you, because you can use whatever color you like. The safety eyes are the same as the mouse's, 12 millimeters. As I mentioned, the face is made exactly the same way. The only things that change are the eyelashes, the little bow I added, and the arms. I will show you that in this video, but it will be a clip that I recorded for the little mouse. I'll include it here anyway so you can see it. Thank you. But as for sewing it, I show you how to do that in the head video. Well, I hope you really enjoyed today's video. I found her super cute. The little mouse seems so pretty to me. Just so pretty. Look at how the little tail turns out. It looks super cute. And the 2 stitches as well. I can't even tell you how adorable it is. Well, I hope you really like it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I think girls, I want to apologize because I think I didn't reply to the comments on the last video, but it's because I haven't had much time. But I will reply to Thema as soon as I can. I'll respond. Well, thank you so much for watching me and for being here. And without anything else to say, let's get started. Okay girls, let's begin. And I'm using the same hook I used for the mouse. We're gonna start with the legs using blue yarn or whatever color you prefer. And we're gonna make 2 identical legs. So I make a magic ring with 6 single crochets. We're gonna work in a spiral. We are now going to enumerate a sequence of distinct integers, beginning with the very first natural number, which is 1. Following that, we have the number 2, then the number 3, subsequently the number 4, and then the number 5. Finally, we conclude this particular sequence with the number 6. We close our ring. For round number 2, we are going to make a total of 6 increases. As I go along, I am carefully hiding this yarn tail. We absolutely need to clearly mark this particular stitch, which will indeed be the very first one. There I have my very first increase, my second increase, and then you will proceed to make 4 more additional increases, specifically 1, 2, 3, and 4 more increases in total. And we continue working from round 3 to round 5. 1 single crochet in each stitch mark, the first one. You already know that I use this yarn tail to mark my place. We do just that 1 single crochet in each stitch, up to and including the completion of round 5. And when I am finishing the very last stitch of this particular round, this is precisely where the stitch marker would typically go, and I eventually get to the final one. I will indeed complete it, but I am going to proceed with changing the color of the yarn at that point. So I don't actually close with a vibrant blue yarn, but rather with a soft, delicate pink. I carefully make a secure slip knot right at the very tip of the yarn, and then gently close it, meticulously adjusting the tension as precisely needed for a perfect finish. Now we hide these 2 yarn tails as we go for round number 6. We're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch, but only grabbing the inner loop like this, and at the same time, as always, I'm hiding these two tails. If you hear any noises, it's my daughter playing. The thing is, she's on vacation now, so you might hear her more often. Alright, so I carefully adjust these two yarn tails, and what I typically do is gently tuck them inside the fabric, and then I continue with the crocheting process as usual. Okay, we will keep going like this, meticulously using only the inner loop of each stitch, ensuring one stitch is made for each corresponding stitch from the previous row. Now we're going to do rounds 7 through 16, making one single crochet in each stitch. Don't forget to clearly mark the very first stitch so you absolutely don't lose your precise place. And let's keep going, my lovely ladies. I'm going to carefully put a sturdy wire in, just like we successfully did in the Lega proper wire, not a flimsy pipe cleaner. Pipe cleaners, these wait just a moment. Let me clearly show you these particular ones. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to put it in the leg, but it's not necessary. If you don't want to, you don't have to put it in. I put it in so I can bend it a little and give it some shape, but that's up to you. I put in the pipe cleaner and the stuffing, but I add the stuffing last. If you're not going to use the wire, you can add stuffing as you go along, as it grows. Alright, and we keep going like this. This is up to round 16, including it. I finished round 16 and this is how it looks for round 17. We will now carefully work 3 individual single crochets. Be sure to mark the very first one of these stitches and then proceed to make an increase in the next stitch. We're going to repeat that sequence, 3 stitches, an increase, 3 stitches, an increase for round 18. We do 1 single crochet in each stitch, mark the first one and continue. For round 19, I went ahead and did 4 single crochets. I've marked it there so you can see it, and now we do the increase. We're going to repeat that sequence, 4 stitches, an increase, 4 stitches, an increase for round 20. I've already done 5 single crochets and now it's time for the increase. I repeat that sequence, 5 stitches, an increase, 5 stitches, an increase. But now I don't close on the last stitch. I don't close with pink, but with the color we're going to use, which in this case is white. First, we meticulously create a foundational slip knot, ensuring it is perfectly formed and secure. Then, we carefully adjust the slip knot to the precise tension and size required for our project. Following this, we are going to skillfully and discreetly hide these 2 loose ends, as we diligently proceed to work and meticulously craft exactly 6 individual single crochets, integrating the ends seamlessly into the fabric as we go along. Mark the first one. Tuck these yarn tails inside, and now it's time for an increase. So we're going to repeat that sequence, 6 stitches, an increase, 6 stitches, an increase, and that's it. Girls, look here, I have both legs finished. So on the first leg we close with a slip stitch when we finish round 21, make a chain, and we can cut the yarn, then pull it through and leave it like that. Alright, but for the second leg, don't cut the yarn because we need to join the leg. Now I'm going to carefully add the pipe cleaners to the piece. I will meticulously place them in position more or less in this specific area, ensuring they are well distributed. Then we will proceed to stuff the pipe cleaner into the material with the precise and gentle assistance of a needle, making sure it is securely embedded. It is important to continue this stuffing process diligently until you can distinctly feel that the material is sufficiently firm and adequately filled, achieving the desired density and shape. Subsequently, we will move on to working on this particular section here. To begin, we will carefully insert the crochet hook through any available stitch, preparing for the next step in our crafting process. that chain will count as my first single crochet. And now we make single crochets all around here, and at the same time we hide this yarn tail a bit. Don't make it too tight, okay? Keep going like this, meticulously making single crochets all around this entire piece until you completely finish, which will be right there as well. This is my very last stitch here, and then we will carefully cut a slightly long strand of yarn and gently pull it completely through. Next, we will thread this yarn onto a dedicated yarn needle, and we are then going to securely close this opening with an invisible stitch. You might notice that in some of the videos, sometimes I do it a little bit differently, but that's primarily because I always try to change things up and actively look for the absolute best and most efficient way to achieve the desired result. Alright, I think this method works pretty well. So I skip to this stitch, which would be the first chain I made, and insert my needle. Here, we carefully pull the yarn through, and from the very last stitch where we precisely finished our previous work, I meticulously grab only the inner loop of that stitch. Just like this, and as a result, it ends up looking like a beautifully formed, small and neat little stitch. This strand here, once you've carefully and securely hidden it a bit, you then gently tuck it inside the fabric or the existing stitches. With this particular strand, we are now going to meticulously make a secure knot, ensuring it is tight and will not unravel. And that's it for securing this end. We will then proceed to tuck that other remaining strand inside as well, making sure all loose ends are neatly concealed. So now, with all the ends properly secured and hidden, we are actually going to begin the crucial process of joining the two separate legs of our project. Remember that we precisely finished the work on the first leg at round 21, and I specifically told you not to cut the yarn for the second leg, as we would be connecting them directly. Therefore, to initiate this connection, I will now make 3 chains, and it is very important that you do not make them too tight. Instead, keep them comfortably loose to allow for flexibility and ease of joining. That's 1, then 2, and finally 3 distinct chains. I'm going to grab the other leg and insert my hook into any stitch. It truly doesn't matter at all which particular stitch you decide to go into, just like this. And I am now going to proceed to make some single crochets. We're going to absolutely need to carefully mark this particular stitch because that's precisely where we will commence the next round of our work. So we're going to make single crochets all around this leg, and at the same time we can tuck in this yarn tail a bit. Keep going like this, making single crochets all the way around here, and we'll come back to do this part. And this yarn tail here, you can trim it a bit if you want and tuck it inside. Yes, I'm done too. And now I have to go through the 3 chains, the ones we made at the beginning. In those 3 chains, we're going to make 3 single crochets. So look, we make 3 single crochets. Like I said, Dawn, that's right here. It's a bit tight for me. That's why I told you not to make them too tight. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to carefully remove this visual marker for a short period, allowing me to achieve a much clearer and unobstructed view of the workspace, so I can better identify and count the distinct points, specifically point number 1, followed by point number 2, and finally point number 3. Once I have completed this crucial step of identification and counting, I will then deliberately place the marker back into its original position to ensure I do not inadvertently forget its designated location or purpose. And now I keep crocheting along this other leg. First, I meticulously and carefully check the precise location where I absolutely need to insert the crochet hook, which in this particular instance would be directly into this specific stitch, and then I diligently continue the process of making additional single crochets as well, ensuring each one is properly formed and consistent. Now we keep making single crochets along here, until we reach this part, which I'll also show you. Well, girls, I'm done. Alright, so I've meticulously reached this particular part of our project, and now we are absolutely going to embark on this journey and do it together, step by careful step. Specifically, we'll be making 3 individual single crochets right here. That means, to be perfectly clear, that would indeed be one distinct single crochet, then a second single crochet, and finally a third single crochet. So to reiterate and ensure absolute clarity, that's 1, then 2, and then 3 separate and distinct single crochets. Now, my dear girls, pay close attention to this crucial instruction. From round number 23 all the way through to round number 31, for each and every stitch, we will consistently make precisely 1 single crochet. This consistent pattern is key for these rounds. It is absolutely crucial that you do not forget to mark the very first stitch you make in this process, because if you happen to overlook this important step and fail to mark it, you could very easily lose your precise place in the pattern, which would then make it difficult to continue accurately. We will then proceed to continue working our way up through the rounds until we reach and include round number 31. At this point, you can simply continue to go about your work as you normally would, because by now, the individual stitches should be much more clearly visible and therefore significantly easier to identify and work with. Alright, we keep going like this. I'll be back. I finished my round 31. Cut a fairly long strand and pull it through from here. We're going to make a truly invisible finish. Thread the working yarn onto a tapestry needle and then carefully close it this particular way. We can effectively skip this specific stitch. I carefully insert the needle right here, and from the very last stitch, I then go through the inside loop. That way, it truly looks just like a regular, perfectly formed stitch, and now we're going to carefully hide this remaining strand a little bit more, ensuring a clean finish. At this precise moment, I am meticulously forming a secure knot, ensuring its stability and integrity. This crucial step finalizes the initial phase of our work. With that accomplished, our immediate next step is to carefully and precisely attach the gray colored material, integrating it seamlessly into the existing structure to continue with the project as planned. This transition marks a significant progression in our creative endeavor, moving us closer to the completion of our design. We make a slip knot at the end, and before anything else, ladies first choose the back and the front side. For example, here you can see it a bit, the seam is a little visible, I know, but since I can choose, I'm going to leave this part as the back. So I'm going to insert my hook here through any stitch, grabbing only the inner loop. I'm going to make 2 chains, and these 2 chains will count as my first single crochet. I'm going to carefully hide this loose yarn end as I meticulously work my way around, and I will precisely make single crochets all around this entire edge here, only grabbing the inner loop of each stitch. Okay? We will continue to proceed in this manner, working steadily. First, trim this excess yarn end a little bit, and then neatly tuck it into a nearby single crochet stitch, making sure to create 1 single crochet for each and every stitch, always working exclusively through the inner loop, until you have completely finished this entire section. And we're gonna keep working in a spiral as always, okay? I insert my hook into the second chain I made, 1 and 2. There I make a single crochet, and we mark that stitch as always since it will be the first one. So what I do is, for rows 33 and 34, we're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. And that's it, girls. Make sure to stuff this part here well. That way it won't be difficult for you later. We keep going like this until the end of the round, including round 34. For round 35, we're going to do 7 single crochets and mark the first one which would be this one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now it's time for a decrease. We're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. Do 7 single crochets, 1 decrease, 7 single crochets, 1 decrease, all the way around. And girls, I'll leave you the instructions. For rounds 36 and 37, make 1 single crochet in each stitch, and we'll come back for round 38. I've already done 6 single crochets. I've marked them for you. And now it's time for a decrease. We're going to repeat that sequence. 6 single crochets, 1 decrease, 6 single crochets, 1 decrease, all the way around. And I'll leave you instructions for rounds 39 and 40, where you make 1 single crochet in each stitch, and whenever you want, start stuffing. For round 41, we do 5 single crochets, and now it's time for the decrease. I'm going to repeat that sequence all the way around. 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, and I'll leave you instructions for rounds 42 and 43, where you make 1 single crochet in each stitch, and for round 44, it's 4 single crochets. And now it's time for the decrease. I repeat that sequence, 4 single crochets, 1 decrease, 4 single crochets, 1 decrease. For round 45, I've already done 3 single crochets, and now it's time for the decrease. We're going to repeat that sequence, 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Don't make the stitches too tight, and for round 46, make 1 single crochet in each stitch. Once you finish, stuff it well. At this point, cut a long strand of yarn because we'll use it later to sew the head. Then pull it tight as shown in the video and leave it like that.